I'm going to invite Chief Young to speak to item number 27. He has an update to provide the council tonight.
Thank you, sir, Mayor Steiner and council. Obviously, the item initially before us, before I go into the PowerPoint, is to look for the resolution to ratify the proclamation of a local emergency that took place on Monday. The methodology goes into almost a tiered approach as far as the best practice. So the state of California proclaimed an emergency back on March 4th. That was followed up on March 8th by the Riverside County medical health officer claiming a local health emergency. So once all of those pieces fell into play, we then went ahead and proclaimed a local emergency.
I was just scared. The first thoughts that came to mind were, what's going to happen to my family? What's going to happen to my elderly grandmother? What's going to happen to my husband? What's going to happen to these people that I love and care for who have pre-existing conditions? If something happens to them and they don't make it through, I'm done. So, yeah, that was my first thought.
It's I think it's stressful because people are depending on you to get the information. And it was changing every day, every minute, every hour with COVID. So I could produce the most up-to-date information to our city leadership, and in an hour it would be something different. And that was stressful because I knew people were depending on that information to make decisions for our community. And our community wanted to know what was going on because nobody knew.
All of us were trying to figure out what was real, what wasn't. Some took it very serious, some didn't take it serious at all. I think the city acted appropriately in a couple ways with, first of all, with how they managed, the workforce. They did take it serious, and they immediately put mechanisms in place to be able to work from home and to, avoid one-on-one contact with the public. And we really, we didn't shut down. We kept going. All of our departments were still active, maybe just not in a physical presence.
Within about 72 hours, we pushed hundreds of employees back home. A lot of cities shut down completely. Employees couldn't go to work. Really for Corona, we were relatively unscathed. There were certain operations, that were impacted and took us a little longer, but most of the city just kept operating. And when we look at even how the EOC was affected, the fire department was still running operations and meetings, but everyone was at home, right, which no one had ever kind of done before.
In emergency management, when we talk about the EOC and we bring everybody together, those department heads bring their specialty, and it's how do we make the city function? How do we still move forward? And so what are those resources or those essential functions, we call them, that we have to provide to the community? And so each department had to figure that out, what is our priority service that we have to deliver, and how do we do that when we can't have people come to the city?
We made everything that was over the counter available here at City Hall available online. So we went virtual like everyone else did and went into a million Zooms.
I think he's trying to unmute right now. Is it? No questions. All right, no questions.
Everyone is working diligently and creatively, both on council and the entire team, to find ways to support residents and business owners and tenants and landlords. Everyone's hurting. Everybody's hurting, and we're trying to find everything we can do within our power to help during these tough times.
We seem to all pull together when something bad happens, and the community becomes closer and closer together, and you saw that, over and over and over again. Food drives, the mosque made something like 15,000 masks, reaching out early to the retirement communities and making sure that they got the right information.
We come here 7 o'clock in the morning and we have 20 volunteers helping, and these are community members who have stepped up to share their view, their values for the city.
It was really cool that our community was able to bring forth a lot of goodness, good acts, time for others, taking care of others, and very proud to live here because so many came forward.
To be a true partner to our business community, hear from them, quickly get them connected with resources, with funding, loans. And we launched the best practices and recovery strategies for restaurants and understanding how can we help them to be able to still keep their customers engaged, keep loyal followings.
Our residents, our local businesses, our Chamber of Commerce. I've been so impressed with the way that our community has rallied together. I've said this many times, serving the community is a team sport, and I couldn't be more proud of the way that our team has stepped up and risen to the occasion.
He's not even resisting arrest right now, bro.
I think he's passing out.
He's breathing right now, bro. You think that's cool?
I was hurt to watch what happened to George Floyd. I was sickened at knowing that these actions were caused by men in my profession, which I hold to a high degree of professionalism and nobility. I stand in solidarity with other chiefs across this county, across our state, and across our nation, that these actions were unacceptable by those officers.
It took me a while to watch the video of George Floyd's murder. It took me a while. And when I saw it, I was shaking. I was like, this man is literally dying before my eyes.
Our sons are just as important as your sons. Our daughters are just as important as your daughters. Us making a living and living the American dream is just as important as you living the American dream. It's about coming together.
What's in my heart and what I describe to our team is honor, safety, and empathy. That's been my message to our men and women. Honor the adherence of what is right, safety, protecting, and empathy, sharing the feelings of another. The protest at Santana Park drew much concern from our community. Our police department sought to meet with the organizers, and thank you to the work of our elected officials, we were able to do so. What I found is they wanted to speak and they wanted to be heard, and they were honest and sincere in their intentions of not creating any harm to our community.
It was a very peaceful march. I wanted to get publicity for that because I wanted the world to see how it's done. There's nothing negative happen when you have the police chief there and his officers there, the mayor, all of the city council members were there supporting that group.
We have a really, really good police force. I have so much trust in our chief. I have done countless ride-alongs with our officers. And every single one of them that I've met is just a regular person trying to do the right thing every day. Trying to keep our citizens safe, trying to go home alive. And they did this, and they joined this career for the right reasons.
And so I think you can be blessed by that. Others can be blessed by that. And that's all we're saying. We're not trying to separate or segregate or exclude. We're trying to involve everybody in our struggle. But in that, you're going to have to allow me the space to be me.
I attribute the success to that protest to the organizers, our community members, our elected officials, our faith-based and our community-based leaders.
Today we're out here training at the Outback Steakhouse. We've got it all good and smoked out, and we're practicing our search techniques. Typically when we practice our search techniques is in a building that we've been in a number of times and that we train in and we're very familiar with. Today we have the opportunity to be out here in a real life environment with tables, chairs, obstacles, and we're performing search techniques and drills.
Let's keep working on our primary, fellas. Okay, the other two are out, it's just you and I. We stop here.
Why we do this training is we could fight a fire in a structure like this tonight, and there's no comparison to be able to train in a structure like this that's real world. Training facilities are nice, but this is stuff that we're going to be operating in on a day in, day out basis. So the more we can train in something like this, the better off we'll be at our knowledge, skills, and abilities.
What you got over there, bud? Okay, on the rope, on the rope.
The Bay Area is partly surrounded by a series of major wildfires.
In total, the area burning is larger than the entire state of Rhode Island.
Firefighters have been working around the clock the last few days, trying to contain as much of this as possible.
'20 was definitely a difficult year for the fire service in general, but also in the state of California, it was a very dry year. We had a lot of fire activity. We had our fair share of fires in the city itself, but we also had a bunch of fires in Northern California and Central California that we provided mutual aid for.
You're in a pandemic and you're supposed to separate and wear your masks and not congregate. How do you do that during a large emergency, large fire? People were getting exposed. We were having crews getting COVID as a team because they were all together on fires.
Back up! Hey, back up! Hold it!
18 days straight, I was out there on the line up in Northern California, sleeping in the dirt every night, being on 24 or 12-hour shifts, depending on what the situation was. 2020 was definitely all hands on deck type of situation. We had the Blue Ridge fire. We had the airport fire. Everybody was out there, either at one of our stations,
starting at the perimeters,
or out on the fire line up north, or at any other mutual aid incident that we were responding to.
Hopefully tie into Division Yankee. And then continue mopping up. And at the end of the day, it's tough work for all of our personnel, but it's the work that is most important because we're spending a lot of money with bulldozers and aircraft. And it's great because it slows it all down and gives us a chance to make a difference. But if we're not able to pick it all up in a timely manner, then sometimes the winds are just going to pick up and make us start all over again. And that's what we're doing today. We started all over again.
I, Tom Richens,
I, Tom Richens,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Thank you.
You know, I'm a father, I'm a husband, you know, I have a full-time day job, and I have, you know, my council responsibilities as well. It's a lot of work. We're learning so many different things, whether we're learning, you know, how wastewater treatment works, or traffic patterns, or crime data, or balance our budget, and be good stewards of the money that we have, and be open and transparent about where it's going.
The team that we have in place right now is really focused on minding the numbers. I know Jacob Ellis is doing a good job really looking at the budgets and working with each of the department heads to look at how we can be most efficient.
To promote him to city manager was probably the best decision I've seen made in this place.
in the last 10 years.
Feels like we have momentum. It feels like we've been building and we've got the right team now and we're heading in the right direction and we've got a lot of ideas and a lot of energy.
Moving into that next phase of the Trails Master Plan, where we're really going to be talking about what is our culture around open space. Let's break down the barriers. Let's get people back in our parks, on our trails, in the city, moving around and enjoying an active, vibrant Corona that's beautiful and reflects the passion of the residents that live here.
Be doing a downtown revitalization plan, very much focused in transforming the area, creating that community destination.
Every great city that has a strong identity has a defined walkable downtown where people congregate and they want to be together, whether you're listening to outdoor music or you're grabbing dinner or dessert or just shopping in the evening. It's a place where your community hangs out.
I've had the opportunity to develop a very comprehensive, solutions-oriented strategic homeless plan. The whole value behind the strategic plan and the system of services is to make sure that everybody is on the same level playing field. That means our businesses are important, our residents are important, and the homeless neighbors that we have are important so that we can offer them a hope and a future.
We're really planning and setting the city up for long-term future success. We're not just taking care of ourselves, but we're setting up our kids and the next generation to live in a beautiful community that we enjoy today.
I'm eager to get to where I want us to be in 5-10 years, but I'm really proud of where we are now.
We are bold.
We are humble.
And we are driven.
We are honest.
We are kind.
We are a team.
We are Corona.
I'm Denise Wilkes. I'm a mom of 5, and I've lived in Corona for 12 years now.
11 years.
8 years now?
Like 10 years? No. I was, like 12 years now?
29 years.
All my life, I grew up here. I love my city.
I like all the churches around here. We do have a lot of great parks. The school system is great out here.
Corona's a great place to live. I love Corona.
I'm very grateful. A community that I can serve.
I think that people make the difference.
My name is Luis, and I've been here for about 18 years. I'm grateful for everything. Just to live here in Corona, I'm grateful.
I just surround myself with a bunch of people I love. We all come together as one.
Citizens of Corona, you always come together.
And shown incredible selflessness.
I'm grateful that we're just resilient.
So grateful for you. I'm so grateful for this community, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Here in Corona, we want to create a community
where everyone can thrive.
Corona's future is bright.